Good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Valentine. Hope you're doing well. To start this video off, here's a new pun. Hey there. Okay. Today's video is going to be about frequently asked questions. This week, I've gotten quite a few questions. Many of them have been on the same topics, and some of them have even had the same answers. So I thought I'd help all of us out by making a quick video addressing the 5 most frequently asked questions this week. Question 1, where is the submit button? A lot of folks are having trouble finding the submit button on the assignments. So if you'll look over here, this might not be your class specifically, but it'll still look pretty much the same. If you go to an assignment, let's say this one, notice the assignment is a Google form embedded into the Canvas page. Now you'll notice there's 2 scroll bars. The outer scroll bar scrolls, but you don't see the submit button. You got to scroll inside the form to see the submit button. At the bottom, it's purple. You'll only see it if you scroll down within the form window. That's been an issue for a lot of folks, so I thought I'd address that. Question 2, why does it say I don't have permission to view this? Now, some folks are trying to open the slides or the exercises and getting a permissions issue. This is generally because you might have more than one Google account, one Gmail account logged in on the same device. You want to only be logged into the school Gmail account, the school email. Reason for that is we don't want random strangers wandering into our Google classrooms, to our Canvas classrooms, talking to you guys. That'd be kind of weird and dangerous. So securities are set up, login information, things like that. You have to be logged into a school email to access the class materials. So that's why that happens. Make sure it's only the school email, nothing else logged in. That will often fix a few things. Question 3, do I have to write everything down? Now, I know there's a lot of slides, especially at the beginning of any given unit, first week of a unit, a lot of slides. No, you do not have to write everything down. Not at all. Let's actually go through what you would write down during a typical lecture. So, assuming you can see these slides over here, hopefully. With any given lecture, it doesn't have to be this one specifically. You have grammar, pronouns and nouns this week. Just jot down what you need to know to remember what a pronoun is or what a noun is. You don't have to write down the examples, obviously. Those are just to help you understand. That's all the examples are for. Jot down what you feel you need to for the grammar slides. It doesn't have to be everything. Whatever helps you remember. Vocab, that's there for you to study. So if it helps you to write it, to study it, that's fine, but I'm not going to require you to write it down. Everyone has their own study methods. You could even take a picture of them. Now, when we get to the literature portion of any given lecture, that's where most of the slides come in. And again, you don't have to write everything down. At the beginning of each lecture on literature, you have a study guide. 10, 15 questions, something like that, depending on the class. This is what you want to write down. Whenever you're taking notes on the literature slides, narrow your note-taking, focus your note-taking on answers to these questions. Treat it like a scavenger hunt. Just look for these answers, write those down. You can write more if you want, but you don't have to. Writing down these study guide answers will help you complete the exercises and study for the quiz. If you're writing every single slide down, that's going to take a million years, and I wouldn't do that to you. So just look for answers. For example, who were the Celts? Let's find who the Celts were. Who were the Celts? Well, they seem to be the second people in this list coming to the British Isles, so that might be something. And here's a slide that just says Celts. That might give you the answer to that question. Notice I'm not going to write everything down for that question. I'm going to write Celts, the inhabitants of the British Isles to come in after the Iberians. That's good. Your answers can be short. If it's not an answer to a study guide question, you don't have to write it down. Just read it for the sake of learning. just for the sake of learning. Just read it and enjoy. Writing slides, let's get to writing slides here. We might have slides about writing. Here, like the nouns, like the grammar, write what you feel you need. This is more of something I'd like you to be able to do, like brainstorming. So if I ask you someday to brainstorm on this topic, maybe be able to just jot some ideas down and I'll be like, what's brainstorming? But I'm not going to ask you about brainstorming on the quiz or anything like that. It's mainly just something that's a useful tool, something you can use to help you when it comes time to write something. Useful tool for your edification. All right. Question 4, where do I turn in the journal? A lot of folks have asked me where to turn in journals. At the beginning of the week, I give you journal topics so that you have the bulk of the week to think about them, write them, take your time. But as to submitting the journal, you're going to want to go to Thursday's exercises. In this case, 1.1.4 exercises. And that will be one of the blanks there asking you to copy and paste your journal. First, it'll ask you which journal topic did you select, then copy and paste it into this box. You can write it somewhere else. You can write it here, whatever is easiest for you. I recommend writing it somewhere else and just copying and pasting it into the box, but that's up to you. Let's see, frequently asked question 5, what's going to be on the quiz? Well, what's going to be on the quiz in any given week is generally 20 to 25 multiple choice questions, give or take. 5 this week will be based on nouns and pronouns. 5 multiple choice questions, nouns and pronouns. Next, 5 multiple choice questions on vocabulary. I know some of you have 10 words, some of you have 20, but I'm only going to ask you about 5. You don't know which 5, so study the whole list. Then there's the literature portion. What questions I'm going to ask you on the quiz about literature are going to be related to the study guide. That's another reason I gave it to you. Focus on studying the answers to the study guide, and you'll know what you need to know for the literature portion of that quiz. If you're in an honors class, you might have 5 questions with a small reading passage like this big, but you might not. And that would be related to what we're doing this week, but that's the gist of each week's quiz. And if you feel underprepared for the quiz, if you're not sure if you know what you need to know, then you need to look at a slide called Review. Review will help you prepare for that quiz. Review has information about a Kahoot game. Kahoot games are these fun little multimedia games you play on the computer, you can play on your phone, you can play alone, you can play with a group of people, socially distanced, of course. And you can play them as many times as you want. All the questions are pulled directly from this week's material. The review game is actually, in my opinion, harder than the quiz because I want to over-prepare you. So play it as many times as you want until you feel you have a handle on the information, then take the quiz. All right. Hope that helps everybody, those 5 questions. And before I let you go, here's another pun. Hope you're not having a rough day. Hope it's a good day. Yep, doggone it. Okay, that's it. There you go. Have a great day. Take care, and goodbye.